This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Alrighty, there you go. Now let's switch over and talk a little Miami Dolphins with our friend Douglie Dowrong. Yeah, baby. We do it on his channel. Normally, earlier in the week, I had a whole bunch of issues and we weren't able to do it. Last week, he wasn't able to be on my channel because we
Payback.
So you know what? I promise you next week we'll get it right where we'll
Yes.
be his channel on Tuesdays and then our channel on Fridays, and we'll get that shit straightened out and we'll get it going. But either way, life is so good.
Oh my goodness.
They're 2-0, and I'm watching all the folks, have a come to Jesus like I was wrong. Well, actually, they're not really saying I was wrong. They're not there yet. They're like, well, wow, he looks different with some talent. Oh, he looks different with some coaches. Oh, yeah, let's see if he can beat the Pills.
Mhm.
So they're still trying to protect themselves, but some people are coming to the realization that maybe Tua can play ball.
Did you see that Sean Payton completely changed his narrative?
That was
all of a sudden, oh, he's going to get benched for Teddy Bridgewater too. I was wrong. Oh.
Yeah, and here's where I get pissed off at Sean Payton and why he lost me forever now.
Mm.
You wanted to play the politics game.
Mm.
You came out and you wanted to defend your guy because you signed him and he was on your team. So you wanted to play that game of like the players do, like the players, like Jalen Waddle, when he was talking to Mac Jones coming out of the draft, it's because, like he said, Tua's already in the NFL. I don't need to help him. I got to help my teammate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was doing what was natural, what teammates normally do for each other. But you're a head coach, dude. You got to call it like you see it. And it was really dumb to say that because Teddy Bridgewater is a fantastic young man.
Yeah.
But none of his offenses have ever been explosive. In fact, the 5 games he played for New Orleans, Sean Payton kind of left that out. He threw 9 touchdowns during those 5 games. He couldn't even average 2 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they won those games, but they won those games because they had a great defense and a running game, and he just had to do enough and facilitate. But to say that Teddy Bridgewater is going to start over Tua, it's just as dumb as the people saying, "Oh no, Skyler's looking really good." No, Skyler Thompson will be the start. I mean, come on, man. Just the shit we've had to deal with.
Yeah.
With Tua, it's not so much, look, if you don't believe in the kid, I'm good with that, Doug.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just don't tell me he can't throw deep, and don't tell me he can't play on a high scoring offense, and don't tell me he can't do things you already saw him do at Alabama.
That's what always drove me nuts. And I got called a two-in-ear and all that stuff because I would push back on false narratives.
Right.
Don't tell me he can't, he won't, he doesn't do things. If you say consistently he doesn't, then I'm like, all right, then I can see where you're coming from. But when you say he can't do this and he doesn't do that, I'm like, I have proof right here that he does it consistently. Like, come on. That's the thing that always drove me nuts, is that the definite can't, won't, doesn't. It's crazy.
Well, and the laziness, like 2 weeks ago, the 47, the 4th and 7 and the touchdown.
Mm.
So he hit an open receiver, right? No, you idiot. He manipulated the safety on the left side to make sure the receiver was open, moron. Pay attention. Look at what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh no, anybody can hit that. No, that route is closed if it's Tannehill, because he doesn't look off the safety. He stays looking at the receiver because that's what Tannehill has done. That's what he still does to this day. He looks down his receivers. Tua does not. Tua will look off safeties, will manipulate them. Go watch the Kurt Warner videos.
Yeah, exactly.
He shows you all the time how he's doing it and manipulating stuff. In fact, Alan Poupar, who I have on twice a week, he and I were going back and forth on Monday on the pass that he made in between 4 guys. And I was saying, dude, that's a hell of a pass. And Poupar wasn't impressed with it. And then you go back to Warner's video and he shows you, well, that's actually the second window that he finds, Tyreek in That route is designed to have two windows. The first one was closed. The second one's open for an inkling, and he got it in there in that inkling. One hell of a throw. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And it's,
Mhm. The game-winning touchdown, that was his third read.
yeah, right.
Like,
Yes.
Matt Hasselbeck showed that he scanned the entire field and then found Waddle and then made another my guy or nothing type pass, because if he misses this, all right, we have one more down, and then worst case scenario, we tie, go to overtime. Like, Tua had, and I say this, an elite fourth quarter. Like, it wasn't good, it wasn't great. That second half for Tua was elite. Even his first half with the two interceptions, he was actually playing pretty decent that first half. But he made those two little mistakes. He bounced back. He did his thing. But that second half was elite. And I said this on my channel. If Tua can play the rest of the season like he did that second half, he is going to be in consideration for MVP.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. And by the way, we got, and see, the problem is we have morons, and sometimes they're former players like Brandon Marshall, who's an idiot, who
Keyshawn
said,
Johnson.
well, Keyshawn's another moron. But yeah, I mean, he's such a moron. They told him, "Shut up, stay on the sidelines. We'll win a Super Bowl without you." Anyway, so but remember Brandon Marshall? Like, I don't know, 2 months ago or whatever. He's a quick twitch, one read guy, or I forgot what I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said he can't read defenses. He locks in on one guy and then that's it. You know, he's a quick twitch throw guy, and that's bullcrap, dude.
Mhm.
It's like I guess you don't watch Alabama. You
Mhm.
pay attention. You just look at the score and you think, well, Alabama trounced another team, but you didn't bother to watch the passes, how they were all in stride, how they led receivers, how he did throw downfield when he had to throw downfield, all of those things. And you know, I'm watching the Kurt Warner video a couple days ago, or was it last night, or whatever. Anyways, and he throws out a line. 90% of the game is played within 30 yards.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, yeah, go watch. You know, I'm watching that Chiefs game, and both Herbert and Mahomes, they're all throwing a crap ton of short passes.
Mhm.
You know, and during the game, I'm also showing how they're underthrowing a bunch of passes, and I'm retweeting that stuff out there saying, hey, you know, because only Tua underthrows passes. And those are the false narratives that just drive your ass crazy.
Last year, there was, I think it was 9 passes over 55 yards, and 2 of them were Hail Marys. But people expect and want to see it consistently. That's not how it works.
No.
Like, Patrick Mahomes threw the 9 route. I think Tua threw it more than Patrick Mahomes last year, and Tua didn't have Tyreek Hill last year. So people have this like preconceived notion in their head, and they need to just sit back, watch the game. Like the Patriots game, people came out and said, "Oh, 2 of this and 2 of that." We won. Let's enjoy the win, and let's enjoy this big win, because we got this huge game coming Sunday. It's big. It's big.
By the way, the other false narrative that developed also, oh, they drafted the wrong receiver. They should have gotten the Cincinnati kid. We got a guy that's catching 5-yard passes. It's like, did you not watch Alabama? Waddle can go deep, dude.
Mhm.
It's not that it's just, it's what requires on this sorry ass offense that can't block, can't run, and has no other receivers. Tua has 2 seconds to throw the ball. He doesn't have time to get downfield. Nobody wanted to hear that. Well,
Nope.
not nobody, but the illogical people did not
Mhm.
want to hear that. And yet you're trying to explain it. And by the way, I started the show by this also. Okay, so the Tua hates calm down, but I'm not going to allow the Grier people to go away. I
Mm.
remember you people slamming Chris Grier. Where are you now? Where are you now? Okay, because Chris Greer's done a hell of a job, and you were slamming him. And guess what? If Tua's a hit, so is Chris Grier. Okay, because he's hit on plenty of other picks, but he found the franchise quarterback, and that's something that nobody's done since Marino.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want the people also that were, you know, slamming Grier, you need to come forward too, because that guy's done a hell of a job finding undrafted players, late round players, trades, whatever. They have bringing Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie over, you know,
That was big.
yeah, man, they've done he's done a great job overall. I mean, look at, and what I love is that his lack of ego will allow everybody to grow as human beings because look at your defensive coordinator, Josh Boyer. He's credited with finding Cater Kohu. He's the guy that nurtured that relationship. He's the guy that was contacting Cater. He's the guy that was working out Cater. He's the guy that believed in him. And then he went to the front office and they said, okay. And they went and gave him a little extra money so they can bring him over as an undrafted free agent. And the rest is history. And by the way, they found Trill Williams before that, who was on his way, and Nick Needham. These are all guys that are undrafted. Okay, so you can complain all the hell you want about Noah Igbenogany, but god damn it, bro, he hits on two of the best safeties in the league, and Minka then is forced to trade him because of his coach, then gets the next guy in line who's just as good as Mink or maybe even better, and then he also finds, you know, other guys at that defensive back spot. I mean, dude, you know, get off Chris Grier's ass.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just I want to hear more people backtrack on that too.
Yeah, and it's funny too because the backtracking on Tua is like you said, you're noticing it. People are getting quieter. I have trolls on my channel that all of a sudden they disappeared after the Ravens game, but there are still some out there. They're saying, "Oh, he was just throwing to wide open guys," and "Oh, the Ravens, you know, packed it in after they were up by 21," and like. They still can't give this kid credit, and I don't understand it because you know for a fact if the score stayed the way it was and the Dolphins got blown out, they'll be out in forces. But all of a sudden, you can't just give him credit. Just say he played a good second half, and let's see if he can chain them together. That's all you got to say. If you still are, you know, not 100% on him, all right, but like give the kid credit. Come on.
Yeah, and listen, you can also say you're wrong. I'm wrong a shit ton, bro. Just admit it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You're wrong and you're wrong. And so what? And guess what? Get ready. You'll be wrong again down the line. And you'll be wrong again because we're all wrong. We get things wrong in life, in sports, the weather, the stock market, the crypto market, our kids, whatever, dude. You know, oh, my kid's going to have a great year in Little League. And he just sucked that year. What are you going to do, bro? It happens. Oh, my wife, she'll be fine with it. Oh, man, the bitch screamed my ear off. You're wrong sometimes, you know? It just happens in life all the time in different scenarios. Admit you're wrong, and that's all. Admit you were wrong about Chris Grier. Admit you were wrong about Tua Tagovailoa. That's it, dude. That's it. Admit you were wrong about Jalen Waddle because that was the other narrative that I just told you about. You said it, false narratives. Have developed so many on a, and you know what? And it bothers me those.
Yeah.
But the McDaniel one, I can understand. You don't know what he is as a coach.
Exactly.
You've never seen him as a coach. Oh, dude, I don't know about this guy. You know, I'm stuck with Gase and Cameron and Sperano, and I get it. We've been burned by the assistant coach elevated that you never knew what he was going to be. But then again, we were burned by the established head coach in Jimmy Johnson, Parcells, and Saban. Didn't matter.
We're always burnt.
Yeah, that's why the Sean Payton thing is like, oh, when people are we could have had Sean Payton. Yeah, and so he could have ended up like Jimmy Johnson and like Bill Parcells. Who cares, dude?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All right. So what do you think about this game this week, man? Because they've got two rookie corners or young corners, not rookies. Micah Hyde is going to be out. Okay. And so, man, with the receiving core that Miami has, you know they're going to blitz the crap out of Tua. They're going to try to pressure him, but I would imagine getting rid of the football is going to be. And he's got great practice from the last 2 years with no line, so he's good at making decisions under 2 seconds.
This game is really going to come down to what the Dolphin defense can do because I honestly think that Mike McDaniel, the thing I love the most about this new Dolphin team is their versatility and their ability to change it up. And we saw it with both games. The Ravens game, they made huge adjustments at second half. The Patriots game, Patriots are running down the Dolphins' throat. Second half, they came out, they shut down the run. So both games made great adjustments and changes at halftime. So I'm good with the offense. To me, it's the defense. Facing Josh Allen, facing Davis, Diggs, that's where it's going to come down to. And again, we don't have Byron. We have, you know, these young guys as well on the perimeter. I think that's where the game defining is going to come down to.
Are you with me? Kohu has to be the outside guy. He's the better
100%.
guy. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
I said it 2 weeks ago because I've watched him all throughout training camp, and he's so much more athletic. He has better body control in the
Mhm.
air. He's just a better athlete to play the perimeter. And I love Needham inside. He
Yes.
doesn't have to go up in the air inside, very little. But on the outside, you need a little extra athleticism, and I think Kohu really brings it.
Yeah, Needham was struggling a little bit on that perimeter. I agree with you 100%. And I think honestly it's going to come down to who can stop the opposing offense the most. That's going to win. And because I think this is going to be another shootout. I think this is going to be a big game, and like you said, the Bills have that front where they can get pressure by just sending four. And that's what we have to worry about. I don't think either team's really going to be running it much because both teams are still kind of struggling a little bit in that run department. But again, I expect Mike McDaniel draw some things up, make some motions happen. Do the Sunday's game, the big pivotal moment was when Chase Edmonds took it for 30, 40 yards to get us down the field.
Yeah.
Supposedly that was an audible by Tua. I can't figure out if that was true or not, but supposedly Tua audibled it to a run, and that's where that play came from. And again, if that's the case, just another another feather in that kid's cap.
Yeah, but again, like, really, you think some people are like, "Oh yeah, no, he can't read defenses." Really, bro? Is that where you're going? Like, is that your lazy take? What'd you hear? You heard Skip Baseless say it or something, bro? Like, what was it? Cowturd? Who was it? It just, and that's a problem in our business.
Yeah.
You have the professional trolls out there, and then they say
Mhm.
stupid stuff because they're just doing it just to get a rise out of people. That's all they do it for, bro. And and they fall for it.
Yeah.
They, what's it called? The hook, line, and sinker, as they say, and they fall for it. And it's frustrating because that's what we have to battle all the time out there because there's so much of that
Mhm.
littered all over the place. All right. We look obviously at the Tua test. The other thing I talked about this week, Doug, the McDaniel test also happened
Yes.
very fast because you heard it and so did I. Oh, McDaniel's really cute with all those jokes. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah. We'll see how funny it is when the shit hits the fan and they're down by 15 and it's the fourth quarter. We'll see how those jokes are going to work out. Well, guess what?
Worked
I
out pretty
guess
well.
the jokes, I guess the human being, I guess the coach connected with his players because his players responded to him and the team, and that question was answered with Mike McDaniel right away.
Mhm. And his post game in the locker room was just perfect,
Yeah.
saying, you gotta trust yourself. Don't get down. I told you guys stuff like this was gonna happen. I told you were gonna hit versatility. It's about how we bet. He's hitting the spots that we need him to hit early. I didn't expect him to be doing as well as he is this early. I gave it to like week 4. That's normally about the time where, especially the new offenses and stuff, they start to click, they start to get together. And he's doing it week 2. So I don't want to get my hopes up because, like you said, we've been burned before, but this
Yeah.
is going in a good direction. And if he can keep doing this, this is the test. You're facing a very, very good Buffalo Bills team with a very, very good quarterback. If he can come out of this game with a win, Miami Dolphins, like you posted on Twitter right now, they're the best team in the NFL. They beat the Bills on Sunday. They are definitely the best team in the NFL.
All right. So, and here's a rant for you. Here's why I know it's different. Okay. Are
Mhm.
you ready for me?
Yes, I am.
When you had the great defense, you always knew Jay Fiedler was a game manager
Mhm.
at best. And your talent on offense wasn't really elite. So it was a defense that was carrying you.
Mhm.
The offense, when you had it with Lamar Smith, same things. You were very limited. You were more of a running offense, didn't have the power to really crank up the points, and you were relying on a defense. When you did the Wildcat, you relied on a gimmick that
Yep.
wasn't really going to carry you forever. When you had your 10-6 with Ajayi, well, Yeah, that wasn't really the real deal because you knew all you had was Ajayi, and it really wasn't, again, a quarterback that was going to take you and put you over the top when it's all said and done. Even I can go back to, the Chad Pennington year where you got pummeled by Baltimore because, yeah, you played smart enough football that was good enough to win games because you didn't turn over the ball and you played solid defense and you had just enough offense because your offense was kind of pathetic. It
Mhm.
couldn't score much. So there wasn't really much of a complete picture and a complete team when you start to look at it. Well, let's talk about the 2022 Dolphins. They're a pretty good defense. They're not even healthy yet because they still need their starting corner in there. Well, let's talk about the offense now. Now you got speed coming out of the backfield. You got a fullback that's going to knock your pecker into your sock. You got a tight end that can leap over goalposts to catch balls if you want. You got two of the fastest receivers in the NFL, arguably the best pair of wide receivers in the NFL. You have one of the best young minds offensively in football. This is the most complete team that the Miami Dolphins have had in over 25 years. Because even when Marino was with Jimmy, that offense was completely stripped down. It was Marino with Aronde, and it wasn't really much. Remember, he got rid of Irving Fryer. He got rid of
Mhm.
everything there. And your defense was young at that moment. It was kind of up and coming. It really came to life when Wani took over,
Yeah.
not when Jimmy took over, not when Jimmy was in charge. It was really a Wani thing. So I can argue in the last quarter century, the Miami Dolphins have not had a more complete team and coaching staff than they have right now in the
Mhm.
2022 season. So this is why, and again, I don't do things for clickbait. I don't do things to get you riled up. I do things because I believe in them. And I believe that these Dolphins are better than any of the Dolphins we have seen in the last 25 years. So we can legitimately feel really good about this team. What do you say about that?
I the thing I love the most, and it's not even just the offense and defense, it's not even just the players, but it's also the coaching that Mike McDaniel surrounded himself with. He didn't think to himself, I don't want someone talking back to me. He thought to himself, I might need help.
Best coach. Let me get the best coach. Let me get the best coach. I don't care if he was a head coach.
Mhm.
He can help me. I don't care if he's a former player that's beloved here. He can help me.
Exactly.
That's Chris Grier, dude. I'll
Yep.
bring Marvin Allen, who's a great personnel guy. I'll bring Reggie McKenzie, who had no business getting fired in Oakland,
Nope.
as you all see what's happened since. Okay. So yeah, I'll bring those guys over. So again, oh hey, Josh Boyer, you like this kid that much? Let's go.
Mhm.
You're the defensive coordinator. You coached. You think this Cater Kohu kid is good? Well, then let's go. We'll sign him. Egoless, bro.
Yeah.
McDaniel and Grier, because they're egoless, they're going to allow people to grow and they're going to allow the franchise to become better because look what you've done. Look, Mario did the same thing. Cristobal did the same thing.
Yep.
He brought in a great coaching staff with him at the University of Miami. He's not worried about, ego or anything like that. His ego is I want to get to work and I want to get it done. And that's exactly what McDaniel's doing. So I'm with you there. The coaching staff, my God. I mean, and especially offensively, my
Oh
brother.
my goodness. They saw that, okay, two struggling here, two struggling there. What can we do with that? Let's bring in Darrell Bevel, one of the best quarterback coaches out there.
What a concept. No, let's get his 7-on-7 coach from high school.
To add to the other two guys so that one can give the play to the other guy, can give the play to the other guy, and then eventually Tua can get it with 2 seconds left on the play clock. Okay, that makes
The
tons of
Dolphins
sense.
are the only people that were playing telephone on every down. We used to play that when we were in elementary. We'd play telephone and we'd tell a secret and it'd go all the way around and then the story would change. The Dolphins are the only franchise in the world that played telephone with their 3 offensive coordinators. It's freaking awesome. By the time it got to Tua, it was like, what's this? shit have to do with this play? What does asshole have to do this? What are you guys doing? And so, yeah, too, we're gonna run 42, asshole. Red 6752 on Snap, dickwad. Huh? What? What's going on here? And he's hearing like 8 voices in his head, and it's like, yo, dude, I got enough shit down here. You guys can, you know. I feel bad for. I mean, what they've put Tua through.
Oh my
I talked
goodness.
about this yesterday. He might be the most mentally tough player in the history of the game. If not, he's top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, think about it. For 2 years, he had a head coach that hated him,
Mm-hmm.
2 owners that eventually were scheming to go bring another quarterback in. The head coach that hated him wanted another quarterback also. Half or 60% of the fan base saying, you're a bust, you can't throw,
Mm-hmm.
you're this, you're short, you whatever, all that stuff. The media, again, the idiots piling on, repeating stupid stuff, stirring it all up. And the dude played with no line, no running game, no coaches, nothing. And and then the rumors of Watson, we saw how Baker Mayfield,
Oh,
lost.
it was a week. He was
Yeah,
done in a week.
Joe Burrow just shut down Twitter and Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. You're not going to the Super Bowl, huh? Yeah. I mean, if Joe Burrow shut down his Twitter and Instagram on the start of the Bengal season at 0-2, I don't even want to know what he would have done in the 2 years here. He
Oh my
might have been on the
goodness.
top of the Empire State Building trying to jump off at this point. I'm serious. You think about all of that. You're coming back from a hip injury.
Mm-hmm.
They also screw your ribs and your knuckle up. Okay. I mean, think about all the crap that's gone on with this kid. And at no point did he complain. At no point
Nope.
did he point fingers. At no point did he panic. At every point, he just stayed steady and stayed the course and stayed positive and tried to find a way through it. And even though, and you could tell by the end of last season in his face, it was wearing on him,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh yeah.
he was still what's that called, stoic
Yeah.
through it all. And that says to me a crap ton, dude, a crap ton on how mentally tough
Mm-hmm.
that guy is. And when they say, oh, no, he doesn't want to be remember, he didn't want to be a captain. No, dude, you had to politic to be a captain. That's not Tua. Tua doesn't want praise.
No.
He's not going to do that. And neither is X, by the way, which now we found out, right? Politicking for captain. Well, guess what? X wasn't a captain either. You know why? X isn't going to politic, dude. He'll lead his way. And obviously he must, because they voted him. But you see, all these narratives that were created, and that's part of it. And if you really look at it, you should be even happier with this young man.
Mm-hmm.
It's his mental toughness, the fortitude he has had to fight through these 2 years. Special, bro. Special.
Yeah. And if he can keep going, keep doing what he's doing, listen to Mike McDaniel. Like Mike McDaniel said, look, I got you where we are now. Just listen to me. And that's the thing he said from jump. How do you get these players to trust you? You just show them that you can put them in the right situation. And he's shown everyone, I can put you in the right situation. Just listen to what I have to say.
All right. Prediction time. What do you got?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a very close game. This was such a hard one for me to pick because it can go either way. It really could. I think it's going to come down to the final drive, and final team with the ball is going to win. If the Dolphins can stop Josh Allen and if the Dolphins can contain him, I think the Dolphins will win 24-21. But if the Dolphins can't, and if Josh Allen starts doing his thing and the defense kind of starts to falter a little bit, I think you flip the score. I think regardless, it's a 1-score win. I do not think it'll be a blowout, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins pull off this victory 24-21.
I'm going 31-27 Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to surprise them. I think they're going to confuse them a lot with their passing game, actually. I don't think the running game is going to be dominant. I'm glad Phillips is out because they're losing one of their guys on the D-line. They got a bitch of a D-line.
Yeah.
But I really like Miami in this game to eke it out, a tough game, close game, like you said. I'm going to go 31-27. They pull it out there at Hard Rock Stadium. Tua has a terrific game. Defense, I think, turns over Josh Allen, where you didn't get a defensive score. last week with all those points, which was pretty amazing. No defensive, no special team score. Unlike Baltimore, they had a special team score in that one. I think you're going to get a defensive score too in this game. So 31-27, Miami wins it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I like it. All right, Doug, tell them about the channel, folks. So folks that may not be subscribed to your channel, they can go over and make it a home.
YouTube.com/Douglie Dowrong. I cover the Miami Dolphins year round. Doesn't matter. Off season, season, all that stuff. Cover them year round. Me and Big O will be on every Tuesday, and then I'll be here every Friday. Preview and review. It's going to be a blast.
So it's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to be a great season. Doug, have a great weekend. Enjoy the win on Sunday, my friend. We'll talk on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Got it. There you go. Douglie Dowrong, baby. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Follow him also on YouTube, okay? He does an excellent job. We love him. All right.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.